Well, hello there, ladies and gents. And for those that didn't see the video that preceded this, it was a bit long at 12 minutes and it didn't say a lot other than what I'm doing today. I thanks everybody for yesterday, everybody that viewed my stuff yesterday, really appreciative. And everybody that subscribed, even more so. And the kind comments were just too much. Thank you very, very much. I can't say how much I appreciated it. Right, today we're going to go Schofield because that's what we're talking about at the moment. We're going to go Schofield because you can't hide from it. It's in the news all the time. And I think this is going to run and run and run. It's going to get worse. And the reason it's going to get worse is he's hidden it for so long. He's denied it for so long. But the big factor is now, he's got no protection anymore. His TV company has gone. His agents have gone. His lawyers have gone. Everybody's gone. And people don't like to get lied to. So they're going to pursue him and pursue him and pursue him. And if that doesn't work, they're going to pursue the lad, whoever it may be. Again, we all think we know who it is, but I'm not going to mention his name. But I followed the Mail, as you probably have yourselves. Well, you've followed different things, but the Mail have broke this. And it said in the Mail yesterday that the reason he came out in 2020 as it was, we thought the guy was going to the papers. That wasn't the case. But the young lad had said to other people at Soap Awards at the time that he really loves Philip. He loves Philip and he's really close to him. That got back to the bosses. The bosses worried to death about it, supposedly spoke to him. He denied it all. And then from there, they've carried on with him. But he started thinking, if he said that to people, what if he does go to the press? I need to address this. I need to come out. That's what's happened. What's happened this last week or so is, I believe about a week or so ago, 10 days ago, when he left ITV, he's paid probably one of the top law firms in London a massive, massive, massive amount to help this young boy, get him under the wing, give him advice, really to cover everything up, to make sure nothing comes out. And this guy has said to the law firm, although Schofield's paid for it, that he's fed up of hiding, he's fed up of shying away from everything. He'd like to talk, he'd like it all to come out, and then it's done with. Schofield again has then thought, well, if he's going to do that, that's no good to me. I've got to be the one that does it. He's done it under the ruse. I'm coming out now telling people this, that I lied, to protect the boy and his family. No thought of protecting the boy and his family sort of 3, 4, 5 years ago whenever they started this sordid tryst, affair, whatever you want to call it. But I've got some facts again, so the bins are going to go on and I do apologise. But there's a few things I'd like to go through. The biggest thing for me with this whole thing, and it always has been, the biggest thing for me is the day he came out live on air. I cannot forget that, and I've never been able to forget that. I like truth, decency, honesty, integrity. I like all of that. I didn't like Holly all over him, and it's the most proud she's ever been of him. I didn't like Eamon, who calls him fit to burn. I think that's an old northern term. Has got it in for him. Doesn't like him at all. Being really, really friendly with him, and again hugging him. And then at the end of the piece, let's all hear it for Schof. He got a round of applause from the crew, and he also said, "We're all here for you, Philip. We're here for you. We'll always be here." You've never liked him, Eamon. And I know a lot watching me will like you, but you shouldn't be saying that if you don't like somebody. That isn't true. Be true to yourself. Everybody should be true. And then you can live with that. But I'll take you back to that. I mean, many on my thing last night on comments are adamant that Holly's known all about this. And she's aided and abetted him. I'm not necessarily after Holly. I think she should go. I think there's a good chance the show will go. I said that in one of yesterday's pieces that I did. It's now in the papers they're saying that. I think it's tainted. I think some of the bosses will go. I think all the bosses will be fighting against one another. You knew more. I didn't know. You knew. I didn't. You should have told me. It's all about money, isn't it? So where Holly's turned on Philip, they'll turn on one another. I think the show will probably be canned. If it isn't, I can't see her coming back. I really can't. If she does, I'd love to hear the phone-ins and opening it on a time delay, because you're going to get lots of people ringing up having a pop at old Holly there. That'll be gold dust. Absolute gold dust. But whether she's known or not, she shouldn't have been all over him the day he came out as gay. Because when all's said and done, he's supposed to have confided in her for years. Might be 3 or 4. He's supposed to have told her he's always felt that way, he thinks, even before he got married. She should then have gone straight on her wife's side, woman sticking together and caring about her. They holiday together, they eat together, they do everything as families. She shouldn't have took his side like she did. But again, today, in today's Mail, in today's piece, it turns out they're saying that Schofield didn't know the guy till he was 15. I heard it was 10 to 12, but 15 they're saying. He didn't get him a job on this morning till he was 18, but he invited him to the studios before that to show him around. And I'm guessing it wasn't long after that they started their affair. And I think at the stage, Schofield was in his early 50s. So he's 18, Schofield, early 50s. Some might say to the lad, say his name's Arthur. It isn't, we're keeping his name secret, Arthur, in the old Debbie McGee thing with Mrs. Merton. What attracted you to multi-millionaire, top TV personality, an all-round good guy Phil Schofield, for all his 51, 52, 53, which will be probably 33, 34, 35 years older than you at the moment? What attracted you to him? I think we all know the answer to that, don't we? Anyway, disappointing. All disappointing. Right. What he mentioned yesterday when he first came out is it was not illegal. Why is that one of the first things he says? I thought that was a bit strange. Maybe it wasn't illegal, but it was still much, much too young and done for all the wrong reasons and done from a place of power and authority. All wrong. He also said, as far as I'm aware, nobody on my team has taken out a gagging order or a super injunction. Well, again, why would he say that? He wouldn't know if somebody's taken anything out because he would have told them to do it. So maybe he'd not told them to do it, but he knew at that time he had lawyers working on his behalf, who he was lying to, and lawyers working on the boy's behalf, who he was also lying to. I mean, his daughter's there, you've got one at university. Is she going in daily to face all these, all her friends there at uni? You've got one that works, I believe, in the agency where he was a shareholder and he got bulleted from only yesterday, Friday I think it was, he got bulleted and his daughter works there. How bad is that? As I say, there's going to be a feeding frenzy now. There's going to be, because he's just not got protection around him. He's got nothing. And until the 100% truth comes out, they're going to be at him and at him and at him. And I think they're going to go for the boy, not in a bad way, but if he doesn't tell the truth, Schofield, the boy's going to. It's going to all come out. As I said yesterday on one of my videos, I think there's a chance this man will get canned. And I also said yesterday on one of the videos, I don't think it was one that you've all watched, at one of the videos, I don't think we'll see him on TV ever again. That's probably a given. But I honestly said, and I mean this, and I'm not asking this, I promise you I'm not, but I think if somebody said to me in a year's time, Schofield's topped himself, or in a year's time they said Schofield's got a job on Channel 5 or Channel 4, I'd be more surprised by the latter. I really, really would. I just don't see him on TV again. So anyway, introduced at 15, working at 18, and a fair not long after, and then when it all turned sour or he was worried about him talking, he moved him on to Loose Women. Right, what else? We've done the Debbie McGee, because I even wanted to put that there in case I forgot it from the top of my head, but that's I thought of Debbie McGee and a fella, Mrs. Merton, when I was thinking of the young lad. I mean, an 18-year-old lad, he's not going to be attracted to 51, 52, 53-year-old Philip Schofield. For all he might be the silver fox, he's not going to be. But he's got the power and the money and everything else, and I don't know. You've got to ask us, some did yesterday in comments, what were his parents thinking? You know, how were they involved? Have they been seduced by the money, by himself? You know, even if the lad only moved to London at 18, a young lad of 18 moving into London. And all right, he might have had a great job to go into, they might have got him a nice apartment, but surely they'd be thinking, well, why would old Philip do all this for him? He's only met him at a theatre workshop when he was sort of 15. Why would he set him up with all this on this morning? It seems strange. So they do the announcement in 2020. He says at the time, and this is the bit that's really important, and that's the part of the last message. You've no doubt seen the last message now, or maybe you have. He said at the time, I've got no boyfriends. There's no current boyfriend. I'm pretty sure he said, I've had no boyfriends. I've always thought I may be gay, but I've only now just realised I am. And I'm not in a rush to get a boyfriend. What I'm most bothered about this moment in time, I think he said, was Stephanie and the children. They're what worry me, and now they're taking all this, and they've been brilliant, they've been me rock, like you have, Ollie. Which side is Ollie? I can't remember which side she is. He looks one side to her, as she's cuddling him. But I'm worried about my wife and children at the moment. I might end up getting my own place, I don't even know that yet, and just chill and get used to the fact now that I've come out and that I am gay, and then take things from there. But I'm in no rush to meet anybody. So you believe it to believe, he's been clean and green, been with his wife forever, done nothing. Lie, 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 lie. He also said, I'd love privacy for 2 or 3 weeks now. I'm going to be doing a lot with the family for all this has all come out. I need to be with them for themselves. And I need to make sure that they're all okay, the mental health and whatever else. I'd like no publicity, no nothing. Sounded all right. That sounded fair enough with the big revelations. If memory serves, within 2 or 3 weeks, he's stood underneath a big phallic object. No, missus, no, don't take it. I don't mean phallic, no. I think it's called a phallic object. Phallus, is it? I'm sure it was under the Eiffel Tower, wasn't he? Well, he stood under the Eiffel Tower with Stephanie and the kids. All pictures, big pictures and whatever else. And we thought, well, He didn't want any publicity a week ago. He didn't want anything. And then we were told, had he signed a deal with the Mail or the Mirror or the Sun, or was it OK Magazine, one of these he'd signed an exclusive deal, hadn't he, to talk all about it, to have pictures done with him. Obviously, if he did it exclusively and the other papers weren't involved, he was going to get more money. Or, as Kim Woodburn was saying, not that I'm a lover of hers, but I love that thing of hers last week, shed loads of cash. He's already on £730,000 per year on that show. He's getting more for the old Dancing on Ice. He's under the ice now, like. He's getting stuff for the Cube and all these other things. He's getting the old We Buy Any Car money before they saw through and binned him. He's getting bundles, but still he wants more. So he signs an exclusive deal. So no press. I don't want any press. It's a bad time for me. Oh, wait a minute. I'll have you, though, because you're paying more than anybody else. That'll do. And then what does he do? I'll do a book. I'll tell people about how the last few years have been and how it's been awful for me and I've not been able to live with myself and I'm not sleeping nights and I'm living a lie and it's wrong for Stephanie. And every time someone comes on this show and tells their truths and are really brave in front of the camera to British public, I'm not doing the same. And I felt I needed to do it. So then he told his truth, which ended up being a half-truth, didn't it? It was a half-truth. That's all it was. It was nothing more, nothing less. Where did we go from there? Where did we go? So he brought out his book. And as I said in the last video, anyone that's bought that book, even if they did like him at the time, should go back to Smith's, Waterstones, Boots, wherever it might be, bang on that door and say, we want our money back. We want our money back. We want our money back. Because the book is a lie. It's a lie. He's not told the truth. Was it later that year that Holly brought hers out? Here's a bell to this. Wait a minute. Let me see what the books are called. Wait a minute. What the book's called. His book was called Life is What You Make It. Life is What You Make It. Or in this case, it could have been called Life is Governed by What You Earn and How Much You Pay. Sorry, what you earn and how much power you have. And that's what he's got where he is. Money and power. And that's what seduced this young lad. Later that year, Holly brings her book out. Reflections. The inspirational book of life lessons. So Holly knows all about life lessons. A lot of it's to do with crystals. She's very much into crystals. They're a wonderful thing. Or as hers could have said, ride that train as long as you can. Stay on that train as long as you can, Holly, while you're in. Shed loads of money. But as soon as the tracks get a bit dodgy and it looks like the train's going to stop, looks like you might stop earning, knife whoever you can in the back and stay on that train, which is what she's done. Kim Woodburn's not wrong there with the old shed loads of money. Right, where else did we go from there? I think that's almost it. Yeah, I think that's almost it. Oh yeah, the last thing is that I heard, and this was in the paper today, what they said was, when this young lad confronted, or said to people at the Soap Awards in 2020 that he loved him and he fell for him and he really loved him and people started to get worried, he actually had a confrontation with Schofield in there and he had a separate confrontation with Ollie Willoughby. And they were both witnessed by, I think it was one of the execs, it might have been this Martin Frizzell, the producer, it was somebody pretty high up. So then they had him in and pulled him and said, are you having an affair? No, I'm not, Governor. No, I'm not. Holly is supposed to have pulled him and said, Philip, are you having an affair? No, Ollie, I'm not. You're my rock, I tell you, I'm not. I tell you everything. I know you do, Philip, that's fine. So that in 1 week, the week later, I believe, or the month later, is the day he comes out and does the live thing on TV, I'm admitting I'm gay. As I say, she puts her arm around him and she says, I've never been more proud of you than I am today. If only a week before a young boy, an impressionable lad of 18, 19 or 20, tells her that he's really upset, that he's being maybe cold-shouldered by Philip, or the affair's ended, or he's having an affair, surely Holly would probably believe it. And even if she goes and speaks to Philip and Philip said, no, he's not, it must at least create doubt in her mind. And surely that day he decides to come out, she said, well, that's fine, Philip, but it's only a week or a month ago I spoke to this lad and he told me all about yourselves. I know you've denied it, which is fine, but I would feel uncomfortable doing all that with you on the telly that day. Could you do it with somebody else? What did she do? She didn't only go on TV with him, but she told the world that she'd never been more proud of him than she was that day. A week or a month after a young lad telling her all about the affair. It beggars belief, folks. It beggars belief. Anyway, as they used to say, I wasn't a cartoon. That's all, folks. That's it. I got to the end of it. It's 40 minutes. I'm sorry. I hope you stayed with it. If you didn't, no hard feelings, but thank you very, very much. Okay? Oh, I'll tell you one thing. If there's anything else you want to see, it's going to be the last one today, but if this gets watched, I'll do it every video. That, what does it say? It's football. If you don't like football, you won't like that. It's called Iggy. Why Iggy? Did it a week or two ago. It's had 28 views. I'll give you 4 more there. Ron DeSantis, you might not know him. He's fighting for to run for presidency. He's fighting against Trump. It's had 8 views. I think that's the best thing that I've done. The gender police won't like it, but I think it's the best thing I've done. No, it's the second best thing. The best thing is the next one. It's another funny one. King Charles upsetting Floella Benjamin. It's had 17 views. If you want to laugh, watch it. It's only 1.5 minutes. It won't take you that long to watch. I thought it was funny, although I did it myself. Dan Wooten, GB News. It says Dan Wooten, GB News, and it says the Schofield Crusade Part 2. That is about, if you've not seen it on GB News, watch my thing, but then go back to GB News and look for it if it's on the internet. It's brilliant. He has Charlie Lawson, who I think was Jim MacDonald in Coronation Street. He has an agent, I think it's Jonathan Shelley, and he has the penalty kick that is Kim Woodburn. It's funny because I kept calling her Aggie. All the way through the video I called her Aggie, then I've realised a day later she's Kim Woodburn, her mate was Aggie. That's how thick I am, folks. I told you I'm thick. I told you I'm thick. It's had 450 views, that, but it should have had miles more than the one that you viewed yesterday. That's the one that should have had 20,000 views and not the one that had 20,000 views. It is a bit longer, yes it is, but it was brilliant. I watched it and it was so funny. That Kim Woodburn was brilliant. And the last one, J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling had 21 views. They're things worth watching, but you'd have to watch them. I've got no problem with it, but if I was dipping into my channel and I was saying to somebody, right, what should I watch? They're probably the 5 things that I would watch. Okay, there'll be every day there'll be stuff out. If you want to watch anything, just put alerts on. I think it's alerts. It tells you what comes out. And if it's something you like, watch it. If it's about sport and you don't like sport, or it's about golf and you don't like golf, or horse racing, or if you don't like it, don't watch it. If you do, watch it. If you like me, let me know. If you don't like me, tell me. If I'm doing something wrong, tell me. If there's a subject you'd like me to cover, tell me. I'll cover any subject. I've got an opinion on anything, me. Won't always be what you want to hear, but it'll be what I feel. Thanks very much anyway. I hope you got to the end of this. I'm sure many of you wouldn't have done, but you never know.